Hey, what's up guys? It's Chris the Key, and today I want to talk a little bit about Fallout 4's survival mode. Survival mode was added to Fallout 4 on March 29th, 2016. It introduced a variety of new game mechanics that increase the difficulty of the game substantially. Many of these changes are detailed online, including on the wiki as well as the Fallout 4 subreddit. The intense level of difficulty makes it feel a bit more realistic, and that realism has inspired some players to attempt survival permadeath runs. These challenge runs require a player to not only slug through the difficulty of survival mode, but also to completely start over upon dying in game. Shameless plug, I was the first person on Twitch to complete the drunken survival permadeath run, but that's another story for another video. Anyway, I've noticed recently that survival permadeath runs are becoming much more popular for streamers. However, during my years of playing and streaming Fallout 4 survival mode, I've come across several tips and tricks that most players are unaware of. In fact, one of these tips isn't even listed on the wiki page itself or anywhere on Reddit. So I've compiled a list of 5 useful tips that you probably didn't know about in order to help you get through survival mode. Number 1, berry mintats. Berry mintats are one of the most useful consumables in survival mode. Upon using berry mintats, all living targets are highlighted for 8 minutes, which adds a glowing pink animation to all enemies. This effect is visible through walls, which allows you to sneak up on your targets and catch them by surprise. The duration of this glow is also affected by the chemist perk. To craft them, all you need is 1 antifreeze bottle, 1 mintats, and 2 tar berries. Antifreeze bottles are found throughout the Commonwealth and are sold at junk vendors as well. You can actually find a guaranteed antifreeze bottle in Diamond City. It's located in the back of town, underwater, over by Shane Kowalski. Mintats are incredibly common, being littered throughout the Commonwealth and sold at chem vendors. Tar berries can also be found at vendors, as well as on dead enemies. However, you can find 9 tar berries guaranteed at the slog. It's also worth noting that berry mintats grant 5 intelligence, which is great for additional XP. Number 2, sleeping away infection. Infection is one of the most frustrating diseases you can contract in survival mode. Upon getting an infection, you'll start to take periodic damage after 60 seconds. One of the top complaints listed online was getting an infection early into the game. The 2 most commonly known ways to cure infection is to either A, use antibiotics, or B, pay a doctor to heal you. Antibiotics are pricey and relatively rare in the early stages of the game. The only way to craft them is to unlock the chemist perk, causing you to spend a perk point early that could otherwise be used for things like DPS and stealth. Doctors can also be a little tricky to find early in the game and require you to take the risk of traveling further out at lower levels. But don't worry, there's actually a 3rd way to heal infections, and it doesn't require you to collect any materials or perks. All you need to do is sleep. That's right, sleeping for 24 hours can actually cure infection. Make sure to eat and drink first, find a bed, not a sleeping bag, and sleep for 24 hours. If it doesn't work the first time, continue to rest for 24-hour intervals until it eventually goes away. What surprised me the most was discovering that at the time of making this video, this tip's not even listed on the Fallout 4 wiki page. Number 3, the coarser recall code. During your playthrough, you'll eventually have to complete the Hunter Hunted quest. This quest requires you to obtain a coarser chip, which means you'll have to hunt down and kill an Institute coarser. This is no easy task in survival mode, and even more risky in permadeath. But did you know you can actually skip this fight entirely? Upon receiving the Hunter Hunted quest from Virgil, head on over to Sanctuary. Assuming you've already helped out Preston Garvey and his gang over in Concord, talk to Mama Murphy. She'll ask you to give her a jet. Give her one, and she'll proceed to have a vision in which she mentions a recall code. This is specifically for resetting the coarser. Once you've obtained this, head on over to Green Tech Genetics. When you reach the top, enter the room with the coarser. Upon initiating dialogue with him, you'll be given a new option to utilize the recall code. This will cause the coarser to walk to the corner of the room, deactivate, and fall to the floor. Number 4, adrenaline. Adrenaline is a damage multiplier perk that's automatically activated when playing survival mode. The way it works is simple. For every 5 enemies killed, your damage output increases by 5%. The more enemies you kill in succession, the greater your DPS. You can actually gain up to 50% additional damage, making this perk incredibly overpowered. However, eventually your character will require sleep, and sleeping is what decreases your adrenaline. The level of adrenaline lost from resting depends on the total amount of time you sleep. 1 hour of sleep alone can decrease your extra damage output by 10%. 7 hours or more will eliminate your adrenaline entirely. By being aware of the adrenaline mechanic, you can strategically skip resting in order to approach battles with maximum damage output. Just make sure to carry around some Nuka-Colas with you, just in case. The caffeinated effect from Nuka-Cola removes some of your fatigue and can give you just that little bit of energy that your character will need to keep their eyes open in the wasteland. And finally, number 5, the 10 mil. The 10mm pistol is by far one of the most underrated weapons in the game. It's available from the very beginning, located on the Overseer's desk in Vault 111. With the right upgrades and perks, the 10 mil is almost godlike. It'll cut down pretty much every enemy in your path. Here's how it works. The damage of the 10 mil is affected by multiple things. The Gunslinger perk for overall higher pistol damage, the upgrades on the pistol itself, the Ninja perk for sneak damage, the Mr. Sandman perk plus a suppressor on the pistol for more stealth damage, and the current level of adrenaline that your character has. You can completely upgrade the 10 mil with just 2 levels of the Gun Nut perk, making it easy to max out really early in the game. When you add up the raw power of Gunslinger, the advanced receiver, adrenaline, and combine that with the DPS increase from stealth attacks, the 10 mil will wipe out most enemies with one well-placed shot. It also spits out rounds relatively quickly, so if the first shot doesn't kill them, the following rounds will. 10mm ammo is also very common to find and relatively cheap to buy, making it a great weapon of choice for survival. And there you go, guys. Those are 5 survival mode tips that you probably didn't know about, and hopefully they'll help get you through your next survival permadeath challenge run. Let me know in the comments below if these tips work for you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, and if you enjoy Fallout content and want to see more of it, hit subscribe as well. I also stream Fallout 4 challenge runs live on Twitch. You can catch me on there Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Arizona Mountain Standard Time. And finally, special shout out to Vrexia, arguably the greatest Fallout 4 player of all time. He taught me most of what I've talked about in this video today, so make sure to check him out as well. Links in the description. I'm Chris the Key. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
The key.